On this day, October 11th, 1492, Christopher Columbus wrote this in his journal about the indigenous people whose land he happened to stumble upon. They should be good servants, and I believe that they would easily be made Christians, as it appeared to me that they had no religion. And we all know what follows. Columbus ravages the Americas, wipes out and enslaves indigenous people on Caribbean islands, just behaves like an all-around good Christian man. And even though Columbus had nothing to do with the United States, the ideology that indigenous people should just accept the Christian religion was not unique to him. This was the demand European imperialists made of indigenous people: convert or be gone, whether through murder or forcing them off their land. Indigenous people are still confronted with the same standard today. In many ways, they do not enjoy the first clause of the First Amendment, which is freedom of religious expression. And despite the passage of the American Indian Religious Freedom Act of 1978, which recognized that government policy had inhibited the practice of indigenous religions, including access to sacred sites and the use of sacred objects and materials, still we have horrific events like Standing Rock, where the U.S. continues to desecrate sacred indigenous land. Many people know about some of the more blatant violations like Standing Rock, but there are some not quite as well-known events that have kept indigenous people from practicing their religion freely in America. One such event was in 1983, when an indigenous man named Al Smith was fired for using peyote in a religious ritual, not while at work, something that indigenous people have been doing for a very long time. Al Smith ended up suing the Unemployment Division of Oregon because he was denied unemployment benefits, and then his case ended up being seen by the Supreme Court in 1990. And sure enough, in a 6-3 decision, they found in favor of Oregon's Unemployment Division. And even though in response, Congress passed the Religious Freedom Restoration Act in 1993, in 1997, the Supreme Court ruled that it was unconstitutional. There's so much more to this that can't be covered in a short video. But at this time, when our country's still trying to decide whether we should celebrate Christopher Columbus or indigenous people, it should come as no surprise that the people who occupied this land long before Europeans even knew it existed still don't have the same right to religious expression that so many of us, especially Christians, take for granted.